Why ignoring that itch might be more dangerous than you think. As a gerontologist with over 30 years of experience studying human aging, I've come to believe one powerful truth. The body always speaks, we just need to learn how to listen. And one of the most overlooked messengers of health in older adults is the skin. Especially after the age of 60, the skin becomes more than just a protective layer. It turns into a subtle, sensitive communicator. While we often associate skin changes with wrinkles or dryness, what few people realize is that chronic itchiness in specific body regions can be a red flag, an early warning system for deeper internal issues. Yes, a simple itch can be your body's way of saying, "Hey, something's off, please pay attention." This video isn't about random dry skin or occasional irritation. We're diving deep into 4 very specific itchy zones that many seniors experience and what they might be telling us about blood flow, organ function, emotional well-being, and nutrition. These aren't theories, they're patterns supported by clinical observations, medical research, and real stories from people just like you. Let me be clear, this isn't meant to scare you. It's meant to empower you. You see, many older adults ignore these signs because they seem small, subtle, or insignificant. But in aging, it's the subtle changes that matter most. It's often not the chest pain or memory loss that first appears, it's a persistent itch. A restless night, a strange patch of skin that no lotion seems to fix. And here's why you should care. Ignoring these whispers can lead to problems that shorten your lifespan. But catching them early, that's one of the most powerful longevity strategies there is. So in this video, we're going to take you through 4 zones of itchiness that matter more than you think. 1. The lower legs and what they say about your circulation. 2. The upper mid-back and its connection to kidney and liver health. 3. The scalp and neck and how they reveal stress and nerve strain. 4. The chest and belly and the hidden signs of malnutrition. You'll learn what these itches might mean, what science says, how to manage them, and I'll share real stories of older adults who nearly missed the signs. And what happened next. But first, a question for you. Have you ever had an itch that wouldn't go away, but didn't come with a rash, bite, or allergy? If so, comment yes below. And if you're watching this for someone you love, your parents, your spouse, or a friend, comment their name to honor them. Also, please hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a video like this. At Daily Elder Advice, we bring you real, compassionate, science-backed content to help you live longer, feel stronger, and enjoy your later years with dignity and clarity. Chapter 1. The lower legs, the silent call of poor circulation. Itching on the lower legs, specifically around the shins, calves, and ankles, is something most older adults chalk up to dry skin or aging. But recent studies suggest that persistent itching in this region, without an obvious skin rash, may point to a much deeper issue: peripheral artery disease, PAD. PAD is a condition where the arteries, particularly those in your lower limbs, become narrowed by plaque buildup. This restricts blood flow to the legs. As a result, the skin begins to feel tight, dry, and itchy, often worsening at night or after sitting for long periods. Why does this matter? Because poor circulation in the legs is not just uncomfortable. It's an early warning signal for cardiovascular decline, including heart disease, risk of stroke, impaired brain function. The National Institute on Aging and Johns Hopkins Medicine both highlight poor lower limb circulation as one of the hidden precursors to serious health events in older adults. Think of your legs as a second heart. Their ability to return blood upward is crucial to your total body system. Real-life story: Harold and Dennis. Let me tell you a story of 2 friends, Harold and Dennis. Both in their early 80s, they'd been neighbors for decades and often joked about who would stay healthier longer. Harold was the early riser, the type who walked briskly around the neighborhood every morning. Rain or shine, he loved to garden, check his mailbox himself, and he rarely sat for more than an hour at a time. Dennis, in contrast, had grown more sedentary over the past few years. After retiring, his daily walks stopped. He spent more time watching TV, reading, or just sitting and sipping tea. He often said, "At this age, rest is medicine." One day, Dennis mentioned during their weekly catch-up, "My legs have been itching like mad, especially at night. I thought maybe I'm allergic to the laundry soap." He tried lotion, switched detergents, bought new socks, but the itch persisted. Eventually, He brought it up to his doctor. A simple ankle brachial index test revealed that Dennis had moderate peripheral artery disease. Blood was not flowing properly to his lower legs, and his skin was drying out as a result. The worst part, this poor circulation was quietly weakening his heart and increasing his stroke risk. Luckily, with early detection, Dennis made changes, began gentle stretching exercises, walked for 10 minutes after meals, reduced salty foods and processed meats, wore low-compression socks, elevated his legs for 20 minutes a day. Within weeks, not only did the itching improve, so did his blood pressure, energy levels, and even clarity of thought. Itching, especially in seniors, is often minimized. It's just dry skin, we say, but the location of that itch can be incredibly telling. The lower legs are vulnerable because they are furthest from the heart. Gravity is working against the body's ability to return blood upward. If the veins are weak, valves damaged, or arteries narrowed, the circulation slows. Your skin becomes underfed, deprived of oxygen and nutrients, and in response, it reacts. But here's the empowering truth. Poor circulation is reversible if caught early. The body is resilient. Older adults who make small changes, walk a little more, stay hydrated, elevate their legs, often report not just relief from itching, but more energy, better sleep, even sharper thinking. You're not just treating the symptom, you're changing the system. This chapter also invites us to listen without panic. An itch doesn't mean disaster, it means pause and assess. Is it symmetrical? Does it worsen at night? Is there no rash or visible irritation? These are all clues, and when paired with a vascular checkup, they can save your life. If you're over 60 and you've been quietly battling that persistent itch on your lower legs, the kind that creeps in at night or tingles after long hours of sitting, please don't brush it off as just aging. Your body, in its own quiet way, might be sending you a message far more important than it seems. This isn't about vanity or discomfort, it's about survival, about vitality, about giving your heart and your brain the support they need to carry you into the next decade of life with strength and clarity. That itch, it may be your blood whispering that it's struggling to move, that your legs, the second heart of your body, are calling out for motion, for oxygen, for care. And the beautiful truth is, you don't need big changes to make a difference. A 10-minute walk each day, a glass of water before bed, a pair of compression socks. These small choices add up. They say, I'm listening to my body. I'm not giving up. Because it's not just about avoiding disease, it's about honoring life, your journey, one step at a time. So take that step, listen to the edge, let it guide you not into fear, but into action and into a future where you feel stronger, more alive, and deeply in tune with the wisdom of your own body. If you've experienced this before, comment 1 below to let us know. Your stories help others recognize they're not alone. Chapter 2. The upper and mid-back, when your organs speak for your skin. Let's be honest, an itch between the shoulder blades or along the spine is one of the most frustrating sensations. It's hard to reach, hard to ignore, and often hard to explain. Most people blame it on sweat, old laundry soap, or dry air. But for older adults, especially those over 60, persistent itchiness on the upper or mid-back may be more than skin deep. According to clinical research published in the Journal of the American Academy of Dermatology and supported by geriatric case studies, itchiness in this region can often be a sign of organ stress, particularly involving the liver or kidneys. These two silent workers process everything: food, medication, toxins, and when they begin to decline, the first symptom is rarely dramatic. It might be a bit of fatigue or an itch. Why? Because when the liver or kidneys are under strain, waste products and toxins can build up in the blood. This condition is known as pruritus, a type of systemic itching that occurs without a rash. The upper back has a high density of nerve endings and is often the first place to react. Even more concerning, studies show that in older adults, this kind of itch often appears at night, disrupting sleep and compounding fatigue, leading to a slow but serious spiral in overall health. Real-life story: Dorothy and Janice. Let me introduce you to two women in their late 70s, Dorothy and Janice. Dorothy had always been the picture of balance. She drank water throughout the day, avoided processed food, and visited her doctor every few months for routine checkups. Her evenings were quiet. She read, wrote in her journal, and went to bed around 9. Janice, on the other hand, had faced a few rough years. Her husband had passed away, and in her grief, her habits changed. She ate more canned food than fresh, drank less water, and took a growing list of medications without really understanding how they interacted. She often woke up tired, her ankles slightly swollen, but the one thing she couldn't stop doing was scratching her back, especially at night. She tried new soaps, changed her detergent, moisturized daily. Nothing worked. Eventually, during a routine visit, her doctor ordered blood work. The results showed reduced kidney filtration and early signs of fatty liver disease. The cause? A mix of age, medication buildup, dehydration, and a poor diet. The itch was her first warning, the only one her body gave before the numbers started to drop. Luckily, with support, Janice made simple changes, switched to lower sodium and fresh foods, increased water intake, reviewed her medication plan with a geriatric pharmacist, added daily movement and mindful breathing, and within a few weeks, not only did the itching subside, she started sleeping better. Her energy returned, her lab numbers improved, all because she listened to what her skin had been trying to say. The back is a sacred zone for messages the body cannot say out loud. It's the place we can't quite reach, which is symbolic, in many ways, of how we treat our inner health. We don't always see the liver or kidneys in the mirror. We don't feel them like we do a sore knee or aching foot. But they are vital. They filter every drop of blood in our body. Every hour, every day. As we age, these organs naturally slow down. Add in multiple medications, chronic dehydration, reduced movement, and you have a recipe for systemic imbalance. Your body may not give you pain, but it may give you itch. And that itch, it often arrives at bedtime, robbing you of rest, irritating your mood, draining your energy. Left unchecked, it becomes not just a skin problem but a life quality issue. This is where awareness becomes power. If we can learn to read the body's whispers, we may never need to wait for it to scream. If your back has been itching in the dark hours of the night, in that unreachable space between your shoulder blades or right along your spine, it may be your body's way of waving a quiet, compassionate flag. It's not just skin deep, it's deeper. Your liver and kidneys, those silent guardians of your blood and balance, might be asking for your help. And the beauty is, they don't need perfection, they need consistency. A glass of water in the morning, a little less salt on your plate, a review of your medications. These aren't big leaps, they're small affirmations that you're still in control of your health. Because when we ignore what we can't see, we often lose what we value most: energy, clarity, independence. But when we listen, when we notice that itch and ask, why now? Why here? We open the door to healing. This isn't about fear, it's about trust. Trusting that your body, even in its quiet discomfort, is rooting for you, begging you to stay vibrant. Let this be the moment you lean in. Hydrate, ask questions, make that appointment, because you deserve more than sleep disturbed by itching. You deserve mornings filled with lightness, and days with energy to do the things you love. Let that itch be the beginning not of worry, but of wisdom. If this chapter resonated with you, or reminded you of someone you care about, comment below and let's start a conversation. Your voice might help someone else pay attention to their own health story. Chapter 3. The scalp and neck when stress itches more than skin. We all know the phrase, I'm pulling my hair out from stress. But what if your scalp is already trying to tell you something, not through hair loss, but through itching? For older adults, chronic itching on the scalp and neck, especially when there's no visible rash, dandruff, or allergic reaction, is often dismissed as nothing, perhaps a dry scalp or a shampoo mismatch. But neuroscience, gerontology, and dermatology studies say otherwise. It turns out that the nerves in the scalp and upper neck are among the most sensitive in the entire body. And as we age, our nervous system becomes more vulnerable to cumulative stress, hormonal changes, and neuroinflammation. In fact, according to studies from the American Academy of Neurology, chronic scalp itching in seniors is increasingly being recognized as a physical manifestation of nervous system fatigue, sometimes tied to high cortisol levels from prolonged stress, neuroinflammation, peripheral neuropathy, early signs of mild cognitive impairment, MCI. What's remarkable is that the itch can show up before other symptoms, before anxiety, confusion, or forgetfulness fully emerge. In this way, your scalp may be acting like an emotional barometer, quietly alerting you that something deeper is building. Real life story. Leonard and Ray. Let's meet two men, Leonard and Ray. Both 78. Leonard has always been the calm, grounded type. He gardens in the morning, listens to classical music in the afternoon, and ends his day with soft meditation and a phone call to his daughter. He's never been immune to stress, but he's learned to manage it gently. Ray's story is different. After retiring, he found himself increasingly restless. His days felt long, his nights longer. He watched the news late into the evening and didn't realize how tense his shoulders had become. Then, slowly, a strange itch began creeping across his scalp, mostly at night. Then during the day, then even while talking with friends. No dandruff, no rash, just a maddening itch. He tried everything: shampoos, ointments, humidifiers. Nothing worked, until a neurologist suggested something unexpected: nervous system dysregulation. Ray began practicing mindfulness-based stress reduction, MBSR. He added short nature walks, unplugged from the news after dinner, and reconnected with his brother through weekly phone calls. Slowly, the itch eased. More importantly, so did his anxiety, irritability, and brain fog. It wasn't magic, it was awareness, and it started with a scalp itch that nobody else understood, but one that Ray learned to respect. In the field of aging and emotional health, we often focus on visible signs: memory loss, tremors, sadness, but stress, especially chronic emotional strain, has quieter exits. It leaves your mouth silent but your skin tingling. The scalp and neck hold an enormous amount of neurological input. They are like antennas for how you're doing inside, not just physically, but emotionally. When the nervous system becomes overwhelmed, whether by grief, loneliness, overstimulation, or repressed emotions, it looks for ways to release tension. And in older adults, where hormonal balance has shifted and skin sensitivity has increased, this can emerge as a physical itch. You see, as we grow older, our stress recovery becomes slower. The cortisol that once dipped after a nap now lingers. The nervous system that once bounced back now holds the tension longer. The result: a scalp that burns, a neck that twitches, a body quietly asking for peace. But here's the gift. This message is not a curse, it's a call to come home to yourself. If you've been quietly scratching your scalp, tugging at the back of your neck, feeling like something is off even when nothing shows up in the mirror, pause. Take a breath. This might not be about your shampoo. It might be your nervous system whispering that it's tired, that it needs space, that it's been holding your emotions in for far too long. You've weathered storms, you've held families together, you've endured loss, transition, change, and sometimes the weight of all that doesn't show up as tears, it shows up as a silent, invisible itch. And that's okay. You're not broken, you're just overdue for rest, real rest. Not just for your body, but for your heart, your mind, your soul. So give yourself permission to unplug, to walk in the sun, to call a friend you miss, start a journal, meditate for 5 minutes, or simply sit with your hand on your heart and say, I'm here, I'm listening. Because your body isn't betraying you. It's trying to guide you back to balance, back to breath, back to peace. And that itch, it may just be the first step toward healing a part of you that's long been waiting to exhale. If this touched something in you, or if you've ever felt that invisible tension in your scalp, comment free below and share your experience. You are not alone, and your story could help another soul begin their healing. Chapter 4. The chest and abdomen when hunger hides behind the itch. The chest and abdomen, the core of your body, the home of your heart, lungs, stomach, and gut, are often where we feel life's strongest sensations. But what if that mild, persistent itch across your torso, especially as you age, isn't just a skin issue, but a signal of silent malnutrition? Unlike dramatic signs like sudden weight loss or visible frailty, nutrient deficiencies in seniors often present subtly. One of the most overlooked symptoms, a vague, non-rash related itch across the chest or belly, especially in the evening or after eating. Why does this happen? As we age, the digestive system slows down. Stomach acid production drops, reducing absorption of key vitamins. Appetite and taste decline, leading to limited dietary variety. Certain medications block nutrient absorption, especially B12, zinc, magnesium, and essential fatty acids. This results in hidden malnutrition, where a person might maintain their weight, but the body is starving for micronutrients. And since the skin is one of the first organs to respond to deficiencies, it becomes dry, irritated, and itchy, especially across the torso, where nerve endings are dense and blood flow is sensitive to systemic imbalance. Studies from the National Institute on Aging show that undiagnosed micronutrient deficiencies are a major contributor to weakness, fatigue, skin disorders, and even cognitive decline in seniors. Real-life story: Joyce and Elaine. Let's meet two women, Joyce and Elaine, both 81, lifelong friends, but with very different relationships with food. Joyce still enjoys preparing her own meals, colorful plates with fresh greens, fruits, grilled fish, and the occasional indulgent pastry. Her meals are small, but rich in nutrients. She's proud of her independence and even keeps a small herb garden on her balcony. Elaine, however, began withdrawing from cooking after her husband passed away. Meals felt lonely. The stove gathered dust. She started skipping meals, relying on canned soup, crackers, and toast. Slowly, she began noticing an itch along her chest and belly. Mostly at night, her skin felt thinner, more fragile. She thought it was just age, but she also felt weaker, lost interest in puzzles, and began having trouble sleeping. A nutritionist friend urged her to get blood work. The results: deficiencies in vitamin B12, magnesium, and omega-3 fatty acids, all essential for nerve health, skin integrity, and energy metabolism. Her body had been whispering through the itch, "I need nourishment." Elaine didn't overhaul everything. She started small: a boiled egg with breakfast, handfuls of walnuts during TV time, a multivitamin for seniors, one home-cooked meal a day. Even if simple, within 6 weeks, the itching faded, but more importantly, her energy returned. She began smiling again, remembering things again, her skin, her mind, and her strength, all responding to care that started with noticing an itch. There's a tragedy in how often older adults go undernourished in plain sight. You don't need to look frail to be malnourished. You can wear nice clothes, carry a full grocery bag, and still be running on nutritional fumes. The body is wise, but it can only endure so long without what it needs to repair, regenerate, and protect itself. The chest and abdomen, especially when itchy or dry, are like a hunger alarm. Not for calories, but for real nourishment, for the essential elements that make skin supple, nerves calm, muscles strong, and the brain clear. If your skin has been speaking up across this central zone, it may be time to look inward and ask, am I feeding my body with what it actually needs, or just with what's easy? Because food is not just fuel. For older adults, food is medicine, memory, and meaning. If you've been feeling that low, constant itch across your chest or belly, not sharp, not red, just persistent, don't ignore it. That quiet irritation could be your body's way of whispering, I'm missing something. You may not be losing weight, but your cells might be starving. Your skin dry and restless is often the first to know when the body needs more than just empty calories. It's not about eating more. It's about eating better. A boiled egg, a bowl of oats, a slice of avocado. These simple choices can become the bridge between fatigue and energy, between fog and clarity. Your later years are not a slow fade. They're a time of refinement, of conscious care. And how you nourish yourself now can shape how deeply you love, remember, move, and live tomorrow. So let this itch, annoying as it has become your starting line, not of guilt, but of grace. Feed your body like someone you love, because you are, and you're still growing, not just older, but wiser, stronger, and more aware of the miracles your skin is trying to show you. If this chapter gave you a wake-up call, or reminded you of someone who might need a nutritional check-in, comment 4 below and share a lesson you're taking with you. As we come to the close of this journey together, I want to leave you not with fear, but with a sense of deep respect for your body and an invitation to trust it again. Throughout this video, we've uncovered something surprising yet profoundly powerful. That a simple itch, a sensation so easily dismissed, might be one of the most intelligent, compassionate signals your body can offer after the age of 60. It's not trying to annoy you. It's not trying to disturb your sleep or distract your day. It's trying to protect you. Each itchy spot we explored today holds a message. The lower legs might be calling out about poor circulation, reminding you to move, to elevate, to take care of the heart beneath your feet. The upper back may be whispering of kidney or liver strain, a soft plea for hydration, balance, and deeper attention to how your organs are filtering your life. The scalp and neck may be vibrating with nervous tension, not from outside noise, but from the unspoken emotional burdens you've carried far too long. And the chest and abdomen, the very center of your being, might be aching for nourishment. Not just of food, but of care, of love, of presence at your own table. These itches are not just skin deep, they are life deep. They are not symptoms to hide, they're conversations to honor. And the most beautiful part, you don't need to be a doctor to respond. You don't need a complicated protocol. What you need is awareness, small daily actions, and a willingness to listen inward. Because healing after 60 isn't about fixing everything. It's about paying attention to the things that matter before they become emergencies. It's about choosing to walk instead of sit, choosing water instead of soda, choosing peace instead of stress, choosing presence instead of avoidance. And yes, it's about choosing to listen when your body begins to whisper, even if all it says is, "I'm itchy." If you found this video helpful, please like this video to help others find it. Comment below with the number that resonated most: 1 for legs, 2 for back, 3 for scalp, 4 for belly, and tell us why. Subscribe and turn on notifications to receive more wisdom every week. Share this with someone you love, it could spark a life-saving realization. And above all, thank you for being here. At Daily Elder Advice, we believe that aging is not about giving up, it's about leveling up. With insight, with grace, and with the courage to listen to the body we've lived in all these years. Until next time, take care of your skin, your soul, and the stories your body is still trying to tell. You are still writing your legacy one day, one choice, one breath at a time.